everyone, and welcome back. It is day 13, and we are talking about free verse poetry today. So, basically, a free form poem or a free verse poem is whatever you want to write. It is defined by no stanza requirements, no line requirements, no syllables, none of it. You get to put what you want to put on the page and make it look how you want it to look. And the reason that I wanted to do this today is because it is a style that is benefited by understanding what other forms of poetry might look like and what some of the devices that can make a free verse poem stand out might be. So it's kind of nice for the middle of the month and getting an idea of who you are and what you have to say. So today we're going to look at three of the most important, most basic devices, one of which is metaphor. This is describing something you without using the words like or as. Some examples would be a heart made of stone, the place is a zoo, it's a melting pot, the apple of my eye, um, cry me a river, dancing stars, you are my sun or my sunshine. Basically, just describing the thing as something else without using that as. A lot of times, this can be used in titles, this can be used to create breaks in stanza, and it can be used basically um, just to make the poem a little more unique and to put your own experience in the poem without taking away the universal nature that an audience might need or might feel or might create around the poem. One of the funny things about poetry is that it isn't always what you intend it to be. Sometimes your audience gives it a life of its own, and there's both beauty in that and the downside to it. Sometimes it gets taken out of context, or sometimes it becomes an anthem for something it's not. And like anything you share in the world, people get to make what they want of it. But you have a little more control over that in the types of metaphor you use. And a simile is very similar to a metaphor. We all know this. It uses those words like and as. This can again be used to influence your own style in the poem or to make something concrete a little more fun. Some examples would be life is a box of chocolates. Do, 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 do. She eats like a pig. She ran like lightning. He's a fish out of water. I slept like a log. Things of that nature. They're a little more basic, and I don't think that any of us really rely on them to make our poetry special, but it is nice to see once in a while, and sometimes a poem just calls for it. Another really cool device in this theme are idioms, and idioms are word or are phrases that are figurative, they're non-literal, and sometimes they're a little wonky, which is why they can be really helpful for free verse poetry. They can be really memorable. An example of an idiom: under the weather, once in a blue moon, through thick and thin, pulling someone's leg, break a leg in the theater business, spill the beans, the ball's in your court, um, she's a smart cookie. Like, there are so many idioms out there, but also poetry kind of gives you the right to create your own, which is really fun. And you never know what you're going to come up with, and you also never know what your audience is going to resonate with. So venture forth, write all the poems, do all the things. And today, I really encourage you to lean into free verse poetry and maybe try using one of these tools or try using something that you've learned from one of your formed poems that you want to talk about and haven't quite had the right form to say what you need to say. I hope that you're doing well. I hope you're having as much fun with this project as I am. As always, I will see you again tomorrow for another of these mini workshops. And happy writing, everyone. Happy April. I'll see you again.